Have you heard of the LGBTQ plus? Well, I am the N in plus. Yes, I'm non-binary, and I'm happy being me, so come at me, you transphobic.
Pro tip from your favorite TikTok history teacher. Don't debate fascists. Don't debate racists or sexists, white nationalists, or Nazis either. For one, they're not interested in debating in good faith. They just want to throw around logical fallacies until you get frustrated. And two, when you debate those ideas, you're helping to grant them legitimacy. When you go out of your way to debate a fascist or a racist, what you're unfortunately saying is that their ideas have some merit to them, that they're worth discussing. But there's no merit to their ideas. There's no value in discussing them. So what's the solution, you ask? Censor them. Tell them to shut up. Laugh at them. Delete their comments. Block them. It doesn't really matter what you do as long as you don't debate them. You don't owe them a debate, and you don't have to be tolerant of their ideas. Just shut down their bullshit and go on with your life.
Wow, you're so observant. Yeah, I do have belly hair. I also have armpit hair, back hair, leg hair, and arm hair. I don't really have a mustache or a unibrow though. But anyway, my body just does this thing naturally where it like grows hair, and then I don't do anything about it because there's no rule saying that you have to. Unless you have a condition, your body probably does the same thing too. This is normal.
I'll do the number 7.
Number 11?
7.
Number 11?
7.
Sorry, I can hear you.
It's okay. Number 7.
Okay, number 11.
If you've ever used Waze, you know there's a feature that lets you see hidden cops. We were tired of these cops setting up speed traps for hundreds of dollars, so we took matters into our own hands.
We could have saved them. This is why I woke up today, to stop that.
First, we made a sign to warn drivers of the cops hiding ahead. Then, we went out next to the road dressed as a giant pig cop, holding up our sign so that drivers could see it.
Be careful now. Be careful now. Slow it down.
Everything was going smooth and people loved it until the hiding cop must have realized people were onto him and came to where we were.
How we doing, officer?
Thankfully, we prepared for this and had a backup sign on the back of our poster to cover up our tracks.
Alright.
Be out here doing this, okay? Do you have a permit from the city?
I do not.
Okay, you have to have a permit from the city.
Alright.
Alright, sir?
Alright, man. Unfortunately. I love you guys.
A clown. That's clown shit.
Look down, you're talking to your highness. Can't see me, I'm the reason for your blindness. They tried this, but I'm too classy for your lines.
So if you're not on the gay girl side of TikTok, then you might not know that at the moment, JoJo Siwa is in a little bit of hot water because she is currently dating a known Trump supporter. So of course that's calling into question if JoJo Siwa herself is also a Republican and possibly a Trump supporter. And I just have to say, as a person in marine conservation, the idea that JoJo Siwa is a Republican is not that ludicrous. The amount of exploitation it takes to create a JoJo Siwa is astronomical, and I mean exploitation of people and the planet. I mean, look at the merch that she creates. It's all really cheap stuff made in places where the people aren't paid a fair wage. That's how it's so cheap. And that's also how she became so popular. And over the years, as I've talked to Trump supporters and Republicans to try and understand their logic, it has generally come down to one consensus, and that's that they put their wealth and their status above the needs and basic human rights of everybody else on the planet. Which seems like it might unfortunately be what's happening here.
So, for those of you who keep telling me I'm not a man because I have boobs, I've just got one thing to say to you. They're not my boobs, they're my balls. They just haven't dropped yet.
Bro, I don't want to hear shit from old people anymore, because the same people who are doing this with their masks are the same people who 10 years ago were making fun of people for sagging their pants. Like, where's that same energy now?
White supremacy is actually more destructive than misogyny. But it's the same thing. What?
I think you're trying to say that racism is worse than sexism, but really it's all two sides of the same coin. So about 500 years ago, a group of white supremacists came up with this system that we have now. We'll call this system Level 0. And then they cared about domination, control, and power. We will call that Level 1. And the way in which they maintain their domination, control, and power is via patriarchy, racism, capitalism, ableism, and a couple of other things I'm probably forgetting right now. And we will call that level 2. And then underneath level 2, we have level 3, which are usually the things that we complain about. And we're all familiar with these things, I hope. So when we have discussions such as, pets over people, but casual racism isn't a big deal. We need black liberation, but keep the gays away from me. Racism doesn't exist. I'm poor and I'm white. We're actually just slowing ourselves down because we're all victims of the same system. But some of us can be hit by different sides of level 2, hence intersectionality. Yeah, but if it wasn't for the colonizers that made this white supremacist world, we wouldn't be civilized. We'd be running around naked in huts somewhere. So that's actually a colonizer conversation, which I'm not going to get into. Therefore, I'm not going to even remind you about the Mali Empire, which had a university with a library that had over 700,000 manuscripts. The Kingdom of Kush in South Sudan. And how do you forget about Egypt? Egyptians were white though. Okay, let's put in our critical thinking caps. Do you really think that in 3000 BC, people that were in this part of the world were white? Yeah, I know. I can't even spend more than 15 minutes outside without getting a sunburn, so that does make sense. And we probably would have been happier in huts. But either way, the current system doesn't work. But if the system is so bad, how come we're using it? Because the people that made this system weren't smarter than anyone. They were just more violent.
Well, looks like Wisconsin's gonna fucking burn tonight. All 5 charges. All 5 fucking charges. Not guilty. Unfucking real. If you don't know what white privilege looks like, look no goddamn further. Look no fucking further. He got away with murder and gets to walk scot-free. Unfucking believable.
Nobody in the US is a colonizer anymore.
Listen, the sex was based, but can I get back to explaining industrial society and its future? Okay, tag pill. So if you want to look at his critique—
Why is everyone sharing their pronouns? Who's everyone? The young lady at the grocery store had a pin that said she, her. But I already know that. So why'd you have to go and tell me?
Some cisgender people, or people whose gender identity is the same as their birth sex, are helping to normalize sharing pronouns.
Oh. Do I need to do that?
Yeah. If you want to help people feel safe in expressing their gender identity and preferred pronouns.
Hello? I'm a cisgender woman who uses the pronouns she, her, and I'd like to order a large pizza.
Honestly, I don't remember. I was probably fucked up. I was crazy back then.
My world, everyone's a pony, and they all eat rainbows and poop butterflies.
That's beautiful, Katie.
Shut the fuck up. Okay, guys, obviously Batman's not gonna stop, but I've been thinking, what if we just give him a body cam? I feel like that would solve a lot of problems. Firstly, I think it would be good to take some heat off of us, Personally, I've never dangled anyone off a building. Second, I bet we probably get some hard evidence on some of these supervillains. Half of them are billionaires. They have buildings with their names on it. We know where they are. Lex Luthor explained his whole evil plan to me in the elevator last week. My mic was off. He's still out there. And you gotta admit, it would be a big help with the insurance. Okay, Mikey, how many claims have you got from people saying the bat rolled their cars over?
8 this morning.
Exactly. Well, now we'll know.
If you're me, do this during the class war. Did you try it? I know that we're a vegan, but I feel like it's kind of an exception, right? So, did you try it? Was it good?
One sip,
Bad for me,
one hit,
bad for me,
one kiss.
bad for me. But I give in so easily. And no thank you is how it should have gone. I should stay strong, but I'm weird.
And then you love it, you touch me, I love you, and then I fucking ghost you.
Here we go, cause we're very